Hello friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of all of my After the Pen spreads for July in my giant catch-all Frankenplanner here. I have 5 planners individually in this one Frankenplanner. We'll go through 4 of them, and I'll also talk a little bit about my setup, some ideas I have for changes for 2024 if that is interesting to you, and then answer any questions you guys may come up with as we go through this flip through. So to get us started, if you are on the live chat, please go ahead and pop in, say hello, tell us where you're tuning in from, and then also too, if you have any questions up front that you'd like me to address in this video, go ahead and leave those in the chat. And for those viewers who aren't able to join us with the chat, you can always join us with some comments at the end of the video or while the video is going on. I'll check them after the video though and get back to you with any questions you may have or just any insights, that kind of thing. I see a few of you popping on. Hi, hello. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. Tried something new this time. I figured out how to do a holding slide, so hopefully everything is back to normal as far as audio and visuals and all that good stuff. Okay, I will go ahead and just kind of briefly touch on my setup while people are jumping on. So I do a lot of Frankenplanning as my basis for planning. I like to have everything all together in one planner. I really just cannot handle having separate planners and trying to manage them individually. So this is the planner that I work out of every single day. I have, like I said, separate planners in here, so you'll see me pull things out throughout the video and put in the new months. Well, actually the new months are already in, so I'll just do that process so you can get an idea of how this system works. I also did a video on the setup that you're seeing here. So I have a video on the cover setup, the dividers that I'm going to be using in the back, and then I have a few little items in the front too that I made during my summer refresh video. Let me just quickly see something. The chat disappeared on me, so let me go and see if I can get back to that. Okay, cool. And then I see, okay, yeah, sorry, trying some new things this time around, so I just want to try to keep in touch with what you guys are doing in the chat, and I also asked a question there, so maybe that's why it like bumped out of the live chat. Okay, so anyway, back to this. So this cover I made, I DIY'd it. I also gave it away as a free printable. I also have this dashboard that I gave away for a free printable in that summer refresh video. Let me go ahead and line things up again. Just need to see a few things. I don't know, this time is a little bit wonky, you guys. Sorry if things are slow to get started. Okay, I also made this pocket pages in that video. I had thought I was going to do more to it, but I just haven't had time. But it was a really fun project to work on. So I've got that in there. Sticky dash that I also DIY'd, videos on that if you want more on that. Right now I don't have anything in my pockets that I made here, but I did add these black stickies because I use them to cover up some things as we go through the video. So it's nice to have them on hand. So that's just the very front of my planner. Then I have it divided into 6 major sections: my inbox, my goals, my productivity items, my schedules, which is where we're going to be flipping through mostly in this video. I have a reference section in the back, and then a note section. So that's my side tabs, and then I also have these top tabs at the top, which is what I use on a daily basis to navigate through my video, through my planner. I just did a video on this, going through my daily routine, if you kind of want to know a little bit more in depth on how I actually plan every single day, my little process going through my planner. So that is available. I see a question pop in. Let's see, I need storage ideas for planners, old and new. Like, do I dismantle the planners and store the pages separate into dividers on discs? Just curious. Okay, so yes, when I'm done, I actually did an archiving video earlier this year if you want to really know all the deets, but basically I take the individual planner, I condense it down onto smaller rings and then I actually just made like a simple cover, a frosted cover for it, and then I just archived that. So they all kind of look the same. They're a little bit more condensed, so they fit better on the bookshelf, and that way I can access them as needed. Other items like accessories and things, I keep those on discs as well, and I just kind of cluster them together. So like all my extra dividers and folders and, you know, pockets, things like that, that are like more accessory items, I keep together on a set of rings, and then I have like all my extra note paper on a set of rings. So hopefully that helps you a little bit know about how I go about it. And again, there is a video if you want to see exactly how I kind of DIY'd the covers and then put together my archives for my older planners. Okay, so back to the flip through here. I'm not going to go too in depth unless you guys really want me to. Let me know in the chat if you have a chance. But I think I'm just going to kind of like breeze through the major sections till we get to what we're going to flip through today. So I've got this inbox section, and in this section I have my Getting Things Done inbox, which is available in my shop if you're interested. I also have a video about planning using an inbox like this. And I've been using it mostly for long-term type things that don't need to be addressed within the next month. That's where I've been putting those things and then organizing them as such. So I have a few pages in here from that setup that I've been using just to kind of keep track of those items I don't want to forget about, but also need to have a way to organize. So next we have my goals section, and my goals section, if you've been following along, has been, you know, I've been doing videos on each process part of my goals section here. I did the vision board at the beginning of the year. That's that, along with the quarterly setup of quarter one. I also have done quarter two with my quarter one review, and my quarter two review with my quarter three goals all set up. So we're in quarter three now, and I'll keep working through this insert as the year progresses. So next we're into my productivity section. So in here, I created a Kanban board for my biggest goal this year, which was my portfolio site. Yeah, the progress has been spotty at best. I did get some progress in the beginning of the year, but I did not accomplish it within one quarter. So I keep coming back to this, trying to see what's left to do and to manage it. So the Kanban board has been helpful for that reason. And I've got those other things that are still left to do here in the backlog side of the thing, of the insert. I also have this monthly cleaning schedule, which you can see has not been updated since June. I have not been keeping up with my cleaning. We are getting ready to do a very big move, so that's just been my priority one, aside from all the other things I have going on. So I've kind of put this to the wayside, but it is a really nice tool for tracking cleaning. If you have like a bunch of different zones that you need to clean in your house, I recommend this. And I just used a plain, like a single page monthly layout for that, and some icons to help me organize. I have a video on this setup along with the back page as well. This one's more for those annual tasks, those bigger tasks. So if you're interested in that, that video does exist. I think it was last year, early, maybe April last year. Okay, so we have schedules now. So this is where we're going to live for the most of today. I can talk. And for the first part here, I just have a yearly overview, a couple of year at a glance pages, and then I have my future log, which I love for future planning. I have a setup video on this. I'm going to say that so you guys, in case you have any questions, a lot of these have videos already existing that go in depth on what I did and how I'm doing it. So this is my future log, very helpful for, like I said, annual planning. My little key for the color coding is very useful, and this is available in my shop. And then we're going to start with my faith planner for July. Okay, so July. I do use inserts for pretty much all the planners you're going to see here today from my Etsy shop. This one is the Quadrant layout from my Etsy shop, along with a monthly layout and the faith overview. So the first section here is the monthly, And I've been using this all year for what I call the takeaway. I do a daily Bible reading every day, and then I try to just kind of grasp some kind of concept or idea from that reading that I can apply to my life for the day or to think on or dwell on. And so that's about as much Bible journaling as I can do. I'm really not into writing a lot. So that works for me. It's a way for me to kind of digest my reading without being too overwhelming. I missed obviously a few days this month because it was, again, we're planning a big move. There was a lot of things going on. Had some events and things that were happening that were all day, so I just did not get a chance to do the takeaway, but I did try to catch up on the reading so that I would be current. So I would either read in a different time, during the day, and then that way I could stay on track with my Bible through the Bible in a year plan that I follow. Let's see, I see another question in the chat. Will you have a 2024 combined faith planner that includes the faith overview pages, quadrant layout, or will the overview still be standalone? That's a good question. I hadn't thought to do it combined, but if there's enough interest, I could always look into it. If it's something that just seems daunting to you as far as putting the inserts together, could easily do a custom item for you. You just need to reach out to me on Etsy. And so I am moving. It was one of my goals for the month, well, actually for the quarter 3. We're going to be moving out of state, which is, I don't know, it's a lot. I have once, long time ago, moved out of state, but we were young and didn't have much stuff. So now we have a lot of stuff, and it's taking a lot of time and effort. But so that's happening probably late September. So we were thinking late August, but things are getting pushed back to September. Okay, so back to my faith planner, you guys. So that's how I've been using it. I do the little snippet, and I also theme all of my faith pages in the same manner, so like the same theme, all at once. And it just makes my life so much easier, so I don't have to think about decorating each and every week. It's all set up ahead of time, and I just need to, fill it in, if you will. So that's how I tackle my faith planner, and that's been working for me pretty well. So here we have the faith overview that I just mentioned from the chat. So this is something that is actually standalone in my shop right now. I hadn't really thought about, again, putting together a planner that included it as you're seeing it here. Most of my combined planners skip right to the weeklies after the monthly, similar to like a Happy Planner or a Erin Condren. So this is a new kind of system for me this year, but I really like it. Like I said, have this in my shop as a standalone, but I will think about doing a combined planner again if I have enough interest in that. So here I use this side of that insert for prayer. So I have a prayer list here. I also do a habit tracker of all of the different elements I do in the morning revolving around my faith planner. So I have my morning prayer, my daily reading, which I was mentioning here, the lettering, which you're going to see in a minute, and then the summary, which is basically like the takeaway. So this little snippet that I do. So that's how I'm using this to track how those go. And then over here, there's a little section here for currently items that are faith-based. And so here I've been putting in, just as the month progresses, I'll fill this in as the feeling occurs, or whenever I feel the need to fill it out or have extra time. So that's how that's set up. And then again, all in the same theme. Really liked the soft colors of this theme. And I do a setup video every month with the Plan With Me. So if you want to see more about the actual theme and the decor, check that video out. So here is the very first week. And I think, I had 2 pens that I was using this time that were from Primrosia. I was using their dual tip markers. So I was able to get a nice thick line when I needed it to, or I also could do a really thin line and do lettering with some. So I think there is times where I use the green for thin lettering, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot more black mixed in I use a Fudonosuke hard tip brush pen for the brush lettering, and then I use a Pigma Micron and a 0.5 tip for the other print lettering or other just black line lettering. And what I do, in case you're new, I use that same app that I get my daily reading from to get a verse of the day. It just auto feeds into the app, and that is what I end up lettering out each morning. This is just a great way for me to combine two things that I really wanted to get more practice in, more time in the Word, and then also more practice with lettering and just those skills in general. And it's really worked out great. I've been doing this for a number of years now. And if you go back to my old faith videos, you can really see the progress, especially in my like cursive and brush lettering, like hand lettering, really big difference. But yeah, it's definitely progressed. So if it's something you're interested in, you can get better, just repetitive practice. I have a lettering series if you want to know more about some tips and tricks for getting started and how to approach the different styles of lettering and what have you. Again, tend to have videos on a lot of things, so if you are interested in anything, I probably have a video on it. Okay, guys, so this one was, again, another week where I was super busy. I think it was the same week that I missed over here as well. So I caught a couple of them, but not all. And sometimes when I just get busy, I can't handle going back and redoing them. This was one of those weeks, but sometimes I will go back and fill in when I have more time later in the week if possible, but this was not one of those weeks. So we were just going to give myself some grace here and let those days go, and then I started back again on Saturday. So this is how that week turned out. And then finally we have, I think this is the last week. Yeah, the last week here from July. And I really did like this a lot. The colors were a little bit louder than the colors I picked out for the decor. I was hoping they would be a little bit more muted, but it still worked out. It was just a little bit brighter than I was hoping when I actually put pen to paper. But overall, I think they matched up pretty well. And I ended up not doing anything with this back page. Again, sometimes I had some ideas to try to use this page, but I just haven't had time to really dig into those. Hoping once everything's settled, I'll be able to kind of explore that a little bit more. But for now, it's just decorated and a nice place to look at to keep the whole month together. So I've got August already in here. I'm going to go ahead and move out July. And again, this is that process that I was mentioning before with my planners, how I handle having separate planners into one. So grabbing out the whole month, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way and grab my faith planner. So I have all the previous ones in here, and I think we just need to hit July. I did do a flip through of all of the months up to June for 2023, just last month, like a mid-year flip. So if you just want to see more faith planner pages, that exists as a video. But yeah, so basically this just goes back on my shelf and I come back to it once a month. All right, let's get everything straightened out again. So again, this is my faith planner and I navigate through those different pages, basically just using these top tabs so I don't miss anything. And then I move on to the next planner, which is my daily planner. We need to go back a little. There we go. So for my daily planner, I again use an insert from my shop. For this one, I've been using my horizontal layout, so I used the combined horizontal layout. And then I also added in the month overview insert, similar to what you saw there in the faith, but a separate insert, which you'll see with a little bit different focus. So here, oh, sorry, this is my health planner. Oh, goodness. So, sorry, let's try that again. So this is my health planner, and this one is my lined top box layout. I also have a health overview insert, which you're going to see here in a second, which is a little more health focused. So, yeah, so this is my health. Sorry about that. I use the monthly currently to track days that I worked out. So that's what that middle section is, and what kind of workout I did. The top is usually some kind of symptom for my chronic allergies, asthma issues. If there's anything significant, I'll write it at the top. And then I've been practicing fasting, mainly 1 meal a day fasting, but it's been going up and down a little bit this month just because of situations. I couldn't really keep up my 22-hour fast that I was doing before. So I did it some of the days, but then I was being very lenient with myself if I had to break the fast early for something, or if I just got extra hungry for some reason, and I would just allow myself to break the fast early. So I wasn't being super strict. I just was aiming for about 22-hour fasts each day. And that's been working out really good for me as far as health. I feel like I have more energy, so that's one good thing. But it just kind of depends on the day. Some days, if maybe it's extra, I'm extra run down, or maybe I feel like I need more energy for a workout, I might make a change. So that's what I put here. So I put the span of hours that I was actually fasting. So I go from the previous day to the next day. So it's a little bit easier for me to calculate how long I was fasting on each day. And that's been working out great. As far as the design, I really just throw down stickers in my health planner as far as the monthly pages and call it a day. The weekly pages I design individually, but the monthly pages I try not to stress about. I just set them up ahead of time. No plan with me, because I really don't want to think too hard about it, and go forward. So here is the monthly layout for July, and this is that health overview page that I mentioned before. So up here you have a couple boxes. I put in some health goals. Really, they're just little reminders, not really anything too strict as far as goals here. I've got my habit trackers, which I use to track like steps, and closed rings isn't from my Apple Watch. I've got my fasting hours, which I was trying to do this month, but like I said, I let things go a little bit more this month. And then workouts, which was mainly my focus, trying to build back up my workout routines. I also got this idea from a subscriber. I'm sorry that I don't remember your name, but you put it in the comments that it might be nice to have small wins in this section, because I have not had a use for this section throughout 2023 so far. And I kind of took that idea, made it into this thing I'm calling bonus points, and I really like it actually. So I set up August that way, but basically it's just trying to do some little healthy things that I think, kind of improve or make improvements towards health, but aren't really that hard to do. So I just made a short list here, and then I kind of filled it out a little bit more for August. I really like this idea, and you'll see I started this at the very end of the month, so I started tracking it on my weekly if I got bonus points on a day. So that's how I've been using that. So if you need an idea, if you're using this type of layout as well, that was a really good one, and that's the one I'll probably be sticking with for the end of the year. And then over here, of course, we have the measurements and weight tracker for the month, and I've covered those up because you guys don't need to see those numbers, but I thought I'd show a little bit more, so I trimmed it out for you. But basically, yeah, it just kind of tracks my measurements and starting weight, body fat percentage at the top. Here I have my monthly totals, so I go through an app called Health View, no space, and that I've used since it basically came out, and it just helps digest all of the data from my Apple Watch a little better than the Apple Health app does, and use that to get these numbers each month. Obviously, it wasn't a great month, but I did have more calories burned. I just didn't do as much, I guess, than I did the previous month. So I worked harder somehow, but didn't do as much as far as walking. Maybe, I'm not even sure why, but that's how it worked out. And then finally, I've got my health goals review. Here is where I just came up with some questions. Actually, I think I grabbed these questions from a really old Happy Planner, fitness planner, or maybe like those are the food log planner. You know what I'm talking about, the very early ones, if you guys are older Happy Planners. Anyway, they had like a summary page on the currently, and I think I grabbed those questions from there. But I basically just do this each month and just fill out a few things, kind of review how my progress is and what I could change and what, might stimulate my next month's goals. And okay, so here is the very first week of July. This one, I don't remember if I did a plan with me on. I don't do as many plan with me's nowadays. So usually it's either one or the other. I'll either do my daily section or my horizontal planner plan with me or my health. Rarely I'll do both in the same month, I can't even talk, same week, so you can see both. So some of these there might not be plan with me's on. If you have any questions about them, just let me know in the comments or in the chat, and I'll try to answer those for you as they come up. But yeah, so here I went with like a coffee theme, which I really liked actually. I'm using some stickers from, I want to say maybe, I think these ones were from, oh goodness, there's so many. Easy Craft Art, I think, was where the coffee came from, but I think I got the coffee washi and these little scripty washies from Stationery Pal, there we go. And then the rose gold colored stickers are from the Happy Planner. I don't know if you guys can see that they're rose gold. It's kind of hard sometimes to tell, depending on the light, how it hits it. But yeah, so anyway, that's how I set it up. This one was a little bit different for me. Things were kind of a little bit all over the place, actually. Not a little bit, a lot all over the place. But it worked out. I felt like I could still fit everything I needed to fit in. I track my stats here. I've got the water, food log, if I worked out, and then that's pretty much it on each day. So let's go to one that's a little bit easier to read, and then I can talk a little bit more about that. So for this one here, I've got some really fun bright colors, which are always very energizing for me personally with my health and fitness. I organized this one here with the food log in the middle. I've got the stats and then the workouts below. So that works out pretty good. I do customize this insert from my shop with my hydration tracker, so it doesn't come standard. I've added that on so that I can use this for my health planner and not have to worry about adding water tracker stickers every week. And if that's something you're interested in, again, I do customizations to all of my inserts, so just reach out to me on Etsy and we can talk about it, and I'll let you know what what's involved and if there's what the price would be. So this one, I know I think I did maybe plan with me. I can't remember, but I did not like how it turned out. I liked the idea, but it was really rough. And this was for Comic-Con week. That was one of the reasons why I was so busy. There was a couple of days where I was just completely out of the house all day. And yeah, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to just do like a downtown, almost like a superhero downtown look. It came out okay, but the way I envisioned it, it was so much better. So anyway, that said, this is how it turned out. I used kind of like this upper area for tracking workouts, also the speech bubbles, and then the food log was in the buildings themselves, and then the stats at the top. And here, I actually really loved how this one turned out. I don't think there was a plan with me on it. This one was mainly with stickers from Planny Things, Tropical Vibes sticker book. I used some of those in kind of like a gradient pattern across the top and the bottom, going from like warm to a little bit cooler on this side. And then I mixed those with a Happy Planner book. I want to say Wellness, not Wellness Warrior, Wellness something. But yeah, so it has like a lot of these more warm tones in it, and then almost like earthy tones, I guess, or natural tones. So I used those along with that just to kind of help carry that color scheme through, and loved this one actually a lot. Let's see, same stuff here. This is where I started to talk about those bonus points. So I was adding them in on the sidebar for this week. And then I think this is the last week of July. So in August, I've started adding them on to the days themselves. Oh, I also did my fasting hours this week as well. If I have the room, sometimes I do add them just because I like to see it that way. But if not, it's fine because I have them on my monthly. And finally, on the very back page, I've replaced that notes page with a habit tracker. This one's a little bit of a mess, but you can see, I think the information is very valuable, so I do like to track. I've changed the habit tracker to say meds and supplements. It usually just says habit tracker, and then here is where I put usually like medications I'm taking, and then supplements, and then I started adding in my symptoms this year as well. So you can kind of see it was a little bit of a rough month health-wise for me. If there's a lot of X's or double, triple X's, it means there's lots of medicines. So it was a little bit rough, but overall, it's just good to kind of see at a glance how the month was, and what I was taking, and to see if anything was helping or not helping, and the symptoms that occurred before and after. So that said, that is how the Health July turned out, July planner. Let me grab that one out, and I will stick this month into my health planner. This guy has been really fat, so I'm really excited to get some of these pages out. Let's see, we are in July. I also did a flip through of this planner for the first 6 months of the year. If you want to see more health spreads and how I was using other pages as well for the beginning of 2023. Guys, have any questions? Don't forget to drop those in the chat. Hopefully I'm answering any questions you may have. And again, I have tabs for each of those sections, so I'll mention those real quick. So I got my health month, overview, week, and then the meds habit tracker section. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to that. There's one other little element I have that I'm not going to share, but I'll talk about. So I have a perpetual calendar here behind this dashboard, and in it I track my weight and my weight daily, so every day. So it's like one of those long Monday through, not Monday through Sunday, the 1 month in a column type calendars, and I just track my weight and my daily steps. That's what I wanted to say. So that's what I've been putting in there, just because I like to see the fluctuations each time, and I didn't bookmark it, so I'm glad that I was being careful this time around. So that's what lives there, and it's just a nice way to have it all at once, and an easy way to kind of keep it hidden as well. I do see a little bit more in the chat. I see something, just having trouble keeping up with your hydration tracker, Janet. Yeah, I understand. I don't know, it just depends on the week. Sometimes I'm very thirsty and sometimes not, but I always forget how many bottle refills I've done, so sometimes that's a challenge for me to remember the actual water I drink. But it is good to see at a glance if I'm hydrating well enough. Okay, so we are moving on to my daily planner, and again, this one is a horizontal planner, and it has the month overview in this section along with a monthly layout. So we start with the monthly, and for this one I also theme out all of the monthly pages in the same theme, but do the weeklies individually. So this one I did a kind of 4th of July style theme. I just like to do these ones seasonal, so this was a fun one to make. I actually created all of these stickers in Canva, and I do a video showing you how I went about that and give you guys some tips and tricks on creating your own from Canva for free. So this one was fun. There's a little bit of a, I don't know, it looks like it got like extra smeary later after the fact. I don't know what happened there, but there was some little ink techniques that I was using to kind of make those fireworks pop from behind, but yeah, it looks a little bit weird now. I don't know. I feel like it's changed since I first did it. Okay, so other than that, I've got the monthly overview, which I use for a memory a day. So I was using the very back page of this planner in a single page monthly format for my memory, but it was just too cramped and small for me to really write everything I wanted to write down. So I switched those two, and you'll see that in a second. So the memory a day is now being housed here on the 2-page monthly, which I like a lot better. I also keep track of TV I've watched because I always forget when I want to talk about things with my friends, so put that in there, and then the books that I've read for the month as well. Nothing too elaborate here for my monthly memory keeping. I just use my pen and just write down a little snippet. So here we have the month overview, and the way I use this one, I kind of use this page for more personal monthly items, and then here I use more for social media tracking. So on this one, I've been using this long checklist for a monthly checklist, and then again, habit trackers. These ones are a little bit more on my personal, goals of like going outside, which is apparently a challenge, as you can see. AM, PM skincare, audiobook time, or just regular book time, although I don't have time to read these days, so it's mainly audiobooks. And then my physical therapy stretching, another chronic condition I'm working through. So I have those, like I said, the monthly checklist of tasks, monthly tasks, that's the word I was looking for. And then here I have my social stats. So I just pretty much write down every morning my subscribers and followers from Instagram and YouTube. And then I have some overview stats here from last month, this month, growth, and then just a weekly checklist of things that I want to keep up with on a weekly basis. So this is not customized in my shop, as you see here. It's just a plain month, no social media, anything here. This is just a nice plain area of lined space that you can use. So you can basically use this monthly layout for whatever you would want. I do see another thing. Oh, you read Happy Place? Somebody else read Happy Place. Nice. I hope you liked it. I liked it pretty good. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, like I was expecting it to be a little bit more rom-com. It was definitely less comedy in there, but it was good. Let's see, I see another question. Where do you get the side and top dividers? And do you make labels? Yes. If yes, which font and size? Okay, so quickly answer that question. These dashboards that you're seeing here at the top are mostly Happy Planner dashboards, but I do have some really good ones here. You can kind of see the back on the bottom, which are very similar. You could easily, I mean, they're originally meant to be top tabs, and I flipped them to be the bottom tabs, but these are available on Amazon, as well as the side tabs that that I mentioned earlier with the 6 side tabs. So again, those are on Amazon, and I can easily send you a link if you want to the ones that I got. I really like them. A lot of them can get really expensive, so I was happy to find these at a pretty good price. In the past, those weren't available, so when I first started setting up my Happy Planner, all I could find were Happy Planner dashboards. And then I think about a year in, I figured out how to clean off all of the paint that they use to make them colorful and make them clear. So I do have a dashboard hack that I can show you if you've never heard of it, and if you have some Happy Planner dashboards in your stash that just aren't fitting your vibe, or you want to just make it a little bit cleaner and more neutral, there is a dashboard hack that will clean those up for you, and I can direct you to that video as well. As far as labeling, I tend to just do my setup nowadays in my computer and print just a full sheet of labels all at once. But in the past, I used a Dymo, those little handheld printers, and I think I was using the, what setting would you say that was? It was like the small. I think it was like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. So I think I was using the small setting for most of my tabs, and that was about the same size as this font here. I think it really just depends. I would say that this font honestly looks like it's about, for a basic serif or sans serif font, I would say maybe like 10 point would be a good place to start and see how that how that works out if you have a printer that does that. You can always print it on basic paper, kind of do a sample before you actually print the labels and get a better idea for your tabs. I'll have to go and look into my actual file to give you what size I used, but it looks like it's about a 10 or 11 point font, maybe. Hopefully that helps answer your question. So yeah, also too, I've used label makers, I've used thermal printers with clear label paper, and I've also used full sheet labels to label. All of them work really great. I think there was only just one that I had trouble getting it to stick down. The foam memo printer worked really good. That's the thermal printer. Yeah. This one here, actually, one more thing. This one that I did on the clear label paper, I have a laser printer, and I noticed that over time, sometimes the ink chips off. So I don't know if you can see that with the daily week, but the Y is kind of coming off a little bit there. So I'll probably have to reset these again for 2024. But yeah, I have noticed that they don't always stay on perfectly, and if you have to remove them or move them around, it will ruin the label. But that's with a laser printer. I don't know how it would work with an inkjet. Okay, that said, here we go. We're back to talking about the weekly. So this one was really fun. I really loved how this turned out. The color scheme was awesome. I used Planning Things stickers mixed in with a couple of Happy Planner quotes, some Daiso washi that I love, and that I use a lot, and then I think just some regular washi, like some craft paper washi from my stash. I also did a little bit of splatter using like a Tombow brush pen and a little bit of water just to add a little bit of like spray texture. And this one was really great. I loved it. I'll talk a little bit about how I set up my pages on the next one, but this was a good one. So for this week, I think I just kept it really simple. This might have been one of the weeks where I didn't do a plan with me. For this one, where were these stickers from? Oh, I think these ones were from Ingrid Bloom's The Happy Planner Sticker Book, along with the Rainbow Mega Pack for the circles, maybe. And then a quote or two from another Happy Planner Sticker Book, which I cannot remember if it was separate or the same. I like to put on each day a checklist, so you'll see a checklist on each one, plus usually there's some kind of focus area. So this would be a focus area here, or if there's a circle or a box, that would be a focus area. Here I did 2 on some of them, and then sometimes I do a long box for this week items, just depending on what I'm doing with the decor. But each spread needs to be functional, so that's my first and foremost plan going in, is that how am I going to use this with the theme idea I have. And I try not to make it so that it's unusable or that it's going to be hard to work around in order to actually use the spread as I'm intending. And that just keeps me interested in the planner as far as the decor, but also keeps it functional. So this one was for Comic-Con, and I wanted to like it. It came out okay. I just wasn't in love with it. I made some stickers out of comic books, so there's some comic book cutouts here, and I think I made all of these stickers actually. I made the boxes with a little bit of like a comic book background on each. It was a little dark. I think I did maybe 30% reduction as far as like the black color. Should have went lighter, but I do like it overall. I also made some clear stickers to add a little bit of that kind of like comic book gradient, dot gradient thing, and added some washi and called it a day. So this one was fun, definitely was good for Comic-Con, but I just didn't love it like I was hoping I would. And this one was another favorite for the month. This one was the Christmas in July. And honestly, yeah, I guess these were both my favorites of the month were Planny Things stickers and palm tree stickers. And I think it's from the same book too, the Tropical Vibes sticker book. Or maybe not, maybe it was a Christmas book. But anyway, I did, a Christmas in July theme, almost forgot for the month, but found these palm tree stickers in that Planny Things sticker book. Added in some washies and like a red and green theme mixed around with some gold. And yeah, this one was super fun. Let's see, I don't know if you guys can see the gold I'll go ahead and do a little lift up so you guys can see the light hit it. I have trouble with seeing the foiling on stickers from the angle that I'm always looking at my planner at. So sometimes I don't really like to use foiled stickers unless it's a pretty dark color like a blue or a green or copper. Gold's usually kind of walking the line. Silver I just cannot stand in my planner because I can hardly see it. And so rose gold again is kind of walking the line too, but I prefer the darker tones if I'm going to use those when I can. But I do love the vibes of this, and it definitely had that Christmas in July theme, so this was a good one. And then finally we have that back page I mentioned before, which was previously the memory day page, but is now where I'm keeping like my events and my appointments, things that are going on in the month that I can reference each week as I'm setting up my planner. And I set this up based off of that future log I showed in the very beginning. So that's kind of the migration of items. I'll put it first in my future log and then move it to here, and then from here to my weekly. So this one I set up in that same theme, and it was fun. It was a fun one to be in. I liked this setup, and it was nice to have this instead of the opposite where I was putting in the memory of the day. I felt like this worked way better. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this out. Grab out all of July. Yeah. And this is my daily planner right now. Another one, I did this flip through as well from January through June. So if you want to see all of those spreads, that mid-year flip through video exists. And I did that last month, so you can see that if you're interested. Okay, on the last leg here, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead, but quickly talk about these tabs. So I had the daily month, the daily overview, daily week, and then currently. And I call this planner, that horizontal planner, my daily, even though it's not a daily planner. That's just what I call it. It's like my catch-all. Okay, and we're all set up for August. I'm excited about this one. This has been a really good theme so far. So last but not least, we're going to go through my hourly planner. This planner is where I house all my goal setting, my schedule, and more like work focused. This month I decided to kind of steer away from the Happy Planner Goals planner that I was using before and use a planner layout that I'm working on getting in my shop, which is the, like, I'm going to call it the hourly grid planner, and I'll show you more about that when we get to it. But this divider, I had pre-set up my social calendar on the Happy Planner book that I was using before. So the monthly is from the Happy Planner, and this is the divider. And as you can see, it's very, very functional. I kept it really simple, just a gray highlighter, black pen, and then used color when I needed to highlight something. But that was basically it. So not really much to see here. These are my Instagram posts and my YouTube video schedule. And I usually plan this all out in advance, so that's why I ended up using this again in July, although I had planned to use my own. But for August, I'm fully into my own inserts, and you'll see that next month. But this is how it turned out. Like I said, yeah, Instagram and YouTube videos go there in the bottom. So if you guys haven't noticed, or if you haven't been on social this morning, finally got this layout in my shop. It's a standalone right now, but it's very similar to like the daily overview. I got it in all 5 sizes. Hold on a second. I feel my throat closing up here. So I have all 5 sizes that I carry in my shop, and yeah, it's there. So if you've been waiting for this, thank you guys for your patience. I finally got it up and available for you to purchase. But I've been using this layout basically throughout the year, but really have used my own inserts from July and then in August. So if you need some ideas for how to set it up, that's how I'm using it. There should be videos on both of those for July and August monthly goals. So like I said, this is the goals overview. I set up my monthly goals here, and then I basically break them down into, actionable items. And then on this side, I take each week of the month and kind of figure out all of the things that I'm going to need to tackle, both for my goals and all the major work-related stuff for my social media, for my professional business, any big events and appointments that are going to take a lot of time out of my day so that I can plan accordingly. So that's how I've been using them. It's been really, really helpful. I've never really done monthly goals before. I've done quarterly, I've done annual. So monthly goals was something that was new for me as far as integrating it into my planner system. And this has been really great because I look at this every week when I'm setting up my weekly tasks and I see, okay, what do I want to get done for each of my goals? And then I also transfer that to the next area, which is my weekly schedule. Let's see, love the florals. Tell me about the washi tape. Okay. Oh yes. All right. So these florals are from Planny Thing. They were in that same, I think, Tropical Vibes sticker book, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait. This might have been in the Crystal Vibes sticker book. And then we have the kind of script writing, which is from Daiso, the Japanese dollar store. I don't think you can find it online, but if you have a Daiso near you, pop in and you should be able to find that. It was a really cute set of like 4 different washis and it had this one in it, and I bought it right away. Okay, so back to my new weekly hourly scheduling planner. Must speak book and on again. So I've been kind of working out how I want this to look, specifically in July, since the Happy Planner had a little bit of a different setup. The Happy Planner one I was using in the beginning of the year, actually I have a sample here I can show you. So this is like how the Happy Planner one was. It's set up with a top box, then it also has a couple of gray boxes here for some focus items, and then a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. hourly schedule, just each hour. So there's that, and then a sidebar and all that normal stuff. So that's how I was planning, and then this setup, I've kind of condensed it down just to the schedule and the basic priorities for each day. And I needed this to be a little bit farther into my day. 7 p.m. was not a good cutoff time for me. So I pushed it to go from 6 to 10:30, if you will, here. And then there's room at the top in case you're an early riser. You could add 4, 5, and 6 at the top if you have an early day start. So this was the first iteration of this graph, or this grid idea that I had, kind of based off the Hobonichi Cousin. And I really like it, honestly. I think it's really good for functional planning. I've gotten a little more creative with it for August. I can kind of show you guys where I'm at, just so you can see some visual prettiness. Yeah, so this is where I'm going with it. I'm adding a little bit more color. I've got the pre-plan for the week going, so I do have a video talking about what I'm doing with these and how I'm pre-planning with those. Added a sticker or two just where I think it will fit, but a little bit nicer, I feel like I'm going towards as I get more comfortable with this layout. But for July, it was really the first month that I committed to this layout, so I'm still working out the kinks, and each week may look a little different. Okay, so I kind of mentioned that. Let's go ahead and move to the next one because it's really not too much changing between the weeks. Like I said, I have the priorities at the top. On this week, I just stopped writing in priorities and just started putting them in at the top and doing a dividing line at 6 and adding in my hourly. I also have a little matrix here for the video production that I do every week, the different videos I'm doing, and all the major steps of those videos so I can keep track. I also have started the this week area, so this is just kind of like an overview. A lot of these priorities are the same on both this one and my catch-all planner, so it's a little bit redundant right now. I'm still trying to work out how I want this to go because this isn't enough space on its own to house everything from my horizontal planner, but I feel like it's helpful to have it here when I'm going through my day to know what my major tasks are. So really working out what works best for me in that situation. So we'll see how we get into 2024 eventually. I also have a this week checklist as well. If there's something that I know is coming up for the next week that I don't want to kind of forget about, I'll put that there. So let's talk about the color coding on the next one. So I've tended to stick with black for any of those things that I do, like it's kind of like my routine, if you will. So I have my morning routine, my filming production schedules in black, anything that's, you know, like planning in my planner or setting things up that's related to my planner, those will be in black. If it's something that I am doing either for my goals or for my professional work, which is freelance graphic design, it'll be in blue. And then anything that is an active item, like something where I have to get up and move, go outside, work out, things like that, those will be in red. And then finally in green are things that are more like downtime things where maybe I'm eating or I'm taking a break or I'm, you know, showering, watching TV, that kind of stuff is in green. And this is just a nice way to kind of at a glance see how busy my day is and also like divide up each time segment and figure out how much time it really takes me to do things, which is what I feel is so valuable. So this is how the next week came out as far as that. And finally, this last week in July, I started adding a lot more of my tasks in here just so I, again, could see it at a glance. But everything else is pretty much the same. And as the day goes through, I start off with those pre-planned Post-its, or what do you call those? Not Post-its, flags, basically page flags. I start off with it like this, and then as the day goes, I'll adjust the flags, and then the next day I'll have the flags kind of all arranged as the day had gone through, I guess, and then fill it in. So that's my process as far as this is concerned. I fill it in the next day after I kind of see where things plugged in instead of being planned in. Let's see, any other questions? Let's see, it's hard for me to change layouts. I'm stuck on dashboard. Wish I could use hourly, but work is not predictable. Yeah, it's hard to change. I understand. I would love to change up my horizontal, but I don't know if I could just commit to this. This isn't enough. And I like the decor too. I love the space. So sometimes once you get comfortable with something, it is a little bit difficult to change. I have tried doing it for just 1 week or for 1 month, and that's kind of easy to do if you have printables because you can just print off a couple of inserts and then, you know, that's it. So that might be a way for you to try some different layouts out without really committing too much to a planner. Back to this last page, I was using the currently pages from the Happy Planner for a monthly goal review. And although I liked that process of going through the previous month and seeing how, how I did with my goals and just kind of reviewing, seeing what I can change, what could be different, that was really it. That just going through that process was about all the time I would spend in those goals. So let me go ahead and pull one up so you can see what I'm talking about. We'll just do April. Yeah, so I was doing this basically for the first half of the year. And like I said, although it was very helpful as far as just reviewing, I never looked at it again once I was done setting it up. And I've been so busy, I've just decided to let that go for the rest of the year. It's something that I think about when I'm setting up my goals for the next quarter or for the next month, so that it does happen as far as the goals review. I'm just not pinning it in, if you will. So I'm just going to leave that blank, and we'll go ahead and set this guy into the planner for now. Just grab out all the pages. And this would be for here. And like I said, I will be using my inserts for the remaining sections of the year, but I will probably just continue using these dividers. So it'll just insert right here. I've already taken out the rest of the year's Happy Planner pages, so I can just use the dividers. Okay, so that is my hourly goals planner. And again, I have tabs, 3 tabs for that one, the monthly, the goals overview, and the weekly, so I could easily flip to those each day. And then we get to the end, which is my budget planner. Let me make sure, yeah, which we won't go through, but I'll briefly touch on. So I did do a planner setup video if you want to kind of know how I'm using this budget planner, but mainly this planner is from Undated Co. I did customize a page or 2 for each month out of it and also kind of tweak it a little bit to fit my needs. But this, was a printable I purchased at the beginning of the year. And in it, I have a monthly overview of my bills. I have my monthly expenses, so I just like a running list of expenses, my bank account running kind of transactions, and then an overview of my Etsy sales every day. So that's what I'm using my budget planner for. It's mostly to just keep track of our mixed finances right now and my work finances, since I have a lot of different streams of income at this point. And finally, so that's the end of the schedule section and of the flip through. I have one more major section in the back, my reference section, and in it I have those bottom tabs I briefly touched upon when I was discussing the different tabs I use. So in here we have a personal tab, a business tab, social tab, and an education tab. Education being more like trainings and notes on things that I might want to reference later down the road. So I put those at the bottom to not be confused with those top tabs, and that's really been very helpful. It works out perfectly. I know exactly where to go when I need to reference these things, but this is not a daily thing that I need to go in there, not on the daily situation. So it's just when I need them, they're there. And I see another note. Let's see. Cute. Yes, cute. Oh, I see. Personally, there's been a lot of chat. Sorry, you guys. I kind of lost track of those. Let's see. Changing from classic back to big. That's enough room to keep all my household catch-all. Awesome. Looking for questions in there. There's a question. Put a nice question mark in there so I can share. But I'm glad to see you guys are chatting away and discussing your own planner setups. That's good. So again, like I said, I have those in there. I'll briefly kind of show you guys my summer dashboard setup so you guys can see in case it's something you're interested in. But I DIY'd these. So I have this one here for the personal. Got this one here for business, which was a really fun one. And all of these are vellums layered over dashboards. Again, I show that full setup in the summer refresh. I've got this one here, which is another vellum laid over a dashboard. Just really gives those fun summer vibes. And then finally, this one here. So everything kind of goes together. I've been really liking seasoning or using seasonal things for my planner setup. So really fun. And then finally we have the note section. So that's the very last tab of the 6, and there I just keep in extra note paper and a pocket folder at the very back to hold my pen and the back cover. Whew, that was a lot, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you do have any other questions, please do drop them in the chat or leave me a comment after this video commences, or is that the right word? Concludes. That's the right word. And yeah, that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye.